जय राधा माधव जय कुंज विहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवरधारी जय गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना। जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर राधे। जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेव जय सुभद्रा जय। जय गौर निताय जय गौर निताय जय गौर निताय जय गौर निताय। जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद। गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 12th canto, titled The Age of Deterioration, chapter 13, Glories of Srimad Bhagavatam, and verse number 16. Nimnaganam yatha ganga devanam achyuto yatha vaishnavanam yatha sambho puranam idam tatha. Nimnaganam tat yatha ganga devanam achyuto yatha vaishnavanam yatha sambho purananam ida tatha. Any Prabhuji or Mataji would like to lead? Nimnaganam yatha ganga devanam yachuto yatha vaishnavanam yatha sambhu purananam idam tatha. Nimnaganam yatha ganga devanam achyuto yatha vaishnavanam yatha sambhu purananam yadam yatha. Thank you very much. Word by word meaning. Nimnaganam, of rivers flowing down to the sea. Yatha, as Ganga, the Ganges. Devanam, of all deities. Achyuta, the infallible Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yatha, as Vaishnavanam, of devotees of Lord Vishnu. Yatha, as Sambhu, Shiva. Purananam, of Puranas. Idam, this. Tatha, similarly. Translation by His Divine Grace Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Just as the Ganga is the greatest of all rivers, Lord Achyuta, the supreme among deities, and Lord Shambhu, Shiva, the greatest of Vaishnavas, show Srimad Bhagavatam is the greatest of all Puranas. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namo Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaiham Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Uttapadakamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakha Vitamsha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pramami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Taruvischa Kripa Sindhu Vaivacha Patitanam Pavanevyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivash Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So thank you so much for joining this wonderful Sangha Sunday, the Love Fest which Srila Prabhupada started. And today we are going to discuss about Lord Shiva, the greatest of all Vaishnavas. And Lord Shiva's, as the personality, is a personality who is often misunderstood misunderstood by Vaishnavas as well. So, this words of Srimad Bhagavatam is showcasing the importance of Lord Shiva. And we're going to discuss the position of Lord Shiva in terms of who is Lord Shiva. And Brahma Samhita, written by Brahmaji, gives a very beautiful analogy. And the beautiful analogy he refers as Yatha and Tatha. In this beautiful words in Brahma Samhita, Lord Brahma mentions about Lord Shiva giving an example, Yatha and Tatha. And Yatha and Tatha, if you see, he is giving the example as the relationship between milk and curd. Milk and curd are no different, but actually they're very different. So thinking that the curd can come from milk is not possible. We have to think curd in relation to Krishna. So quite a lot of time we think Lord Shiva, how many of us think Lord Shiva is a god? How many of us think Lord Shiva is a god? Thank you so much. And how many of you think Lord Shiva is not a god? So we are actually in a very conscious situation right now when a lot of devotees often misunderstand the position of Lord Shiva. Brahma Samhita mentions that as milk comes in contact with little lemon, little acid, that translates it to dadhi, right? So like the milk comes in contact with the gunas, the tamoguna in this example, when the energy of the Lord, the personality of the Lord comes in contact with tamoguna, for example, that personality is Lord Shiva. But Lord Shiva is not in that guna. Lord Shiva is beyond tamoguna. But when he comes in contact with tamoguna, his personality is such. Exactly like thinking of dadhi, thinking of curd without milk is not possible. Likewise, thinking of Lord Shiva as someone who is supreme by himself is also not right. So we would like to discuss a little bit about the position of Lord Shiva and try to clear doubt in our mind. Many of the times when we think, Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and then the position of different personalities like Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, and the Jiva Tattvas come, we often misunderstand. And this is where Brahma Samhita gives us a very clear analogy between milk and the curd. So thinking of Lord Shiva as someone who is alone, most of the time, you have this confusion between Shaivites and Vaishnavites. They think we are different and this group thinks they are different. But that is not like that. Here, curd is not possible without milk. So thinking that Lord Shiva is someone who is unique and he doesn't have an identity in relationship to the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna is not correct as well. And in Bhagavad Gita, there are several references, and Srila Prabhupada mentions many times in his purports the importance of Brahma, Shiva, and Krishna. And there are a lot of references wherein the different gunas, different qualities of Lord Shiva is mentioned. So there are many gunas of Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna is Ananta Krishnera Guna Choshati Pradhana. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is mentioned Lord Krishna has innumerable qualities, not just 64, of many qualities. But the most important is Chosati, means 64. There are 64 qualities of Krishna. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami mentions in Madhya Lila that Ananta Krishnera Guna Chosati Pradhana Eka Gunusuni Udaya Bhaktakana. That means Krishna has 64 qualities which are very prominent. And of these 64 qualities, there are 50 qualities which all the jivas possess. And these qualities are not in full. We don't have any quality as such. If you think about, we do not have any strength. We do not have any knowledge for that matter. We are very insignificant. And it is mentioned that the Jiva Tattvas possess the 50 qualities not even infinitesimally, very small. And Brahma possesses these 50 qualities to the full. And then Lord Shiva, he possesses 4 or 5 qualities which are higher than Brahma. And that's where Srila Prabhupada mentions in his purport that even if, as Jivatattvas, we try to enhance our qualities by doing meditation, by doing chanting, by doing devotional service, but we can elevate ourselves to get better at these 50 qualities. But we can never become any of the other personalities like Lord Shiva and Krishna. And we should never. So this is where we have this understanding from Upanishads that Upanishads mentions that Aham Brahmasmi. That means we are the spirit soul and we are the supreme Brahman. And that is where the Mayavadis understands that the Brahman is inside us, and they consider that as the Brahman is inside us, these Mayavadis, they think that they are part and parcel and they are God himself. And that is where we have to recognize that there is a difference between Aham Brahmasmi and Aham Param Brahmasmi. Who is Param Brahma in that sense? So it is mentioned, Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita many times, he mentions Param Brahma, Param Dhama. That means he considers the Supreme Personality of Godhead as Param Brahman. So in that context, when you see that I am Brahman, means we have the soul inside, and the soul is part and parcel of Param Brahma. So in that relationship, when you see that the Lord is the controller, and then Lord Shiva is a greatest Vaishnava, as mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. And Lord Shiva is one of the 12 Mahajans, as some of the primary, these Mahajans, and Yamaraj is mentioning in Srimad Bhagavatam, Lord Brahma is one of the 12 Mahajans. Narad Muni is a Mahajan, Lord Shiva is a Mahajan, Kumaras, the 4 Kumaras are Mahajans. Kapila Muni, who is actually the son of Mother Devahuti, who is the daughter of Swayambhu Manu, he is a Mahajan. And Swayambhu Manu himself is a Mahajan. Prahlad Maharaj, who we glorified with Nrsimhadev prayers, is a Mahajan. Janak Maharaj is a Mahajan. Bhishmadev is a Mahajan. Bali Maharaj is a Mahajan, and wonderful pastime of Vamanadev happened. And then Sukadev Goswami is a Mahajan, and Yamaraj is saying in these words that he himself is a Mahajan. So these 12 personalities, so Lord Shiva is a Mahajan. Lord Shiva is one of the greatest personalities, and we should see Lord Shiva in light, in reference to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. So you might have heard about the churning of the ocean, wherein the Mandar mountain was kept, the demons and the devatas, they try to churn. And when the churning happened, for that they got Vasuki. They couldn't find a rope which is big enough to hold the mountain. And actually the Mandar mountain was so heavy that Lord came as tortoise, came and did the stability of the Mandar mountain. And then when the churning happened, then the halahal poison came out. When the halahal poison came out, then there was no one, because the power of those poison was so substantial that people would end up dying with the poison. And there was no one to actually take that. And at the time, they all went to Lord Shiva and requested to Lord Shiva to take care of this. Otherwise, this entire universe is going to be destroyed. So in that light, Lord Shiva took the poison, and took the poison in such a way that our Acharyas mentions that in the heart of Lord Shiva, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna resides. So when the Supreme Personality of Godhead resides in the heart, he won't let the poison come all the way till the heart. So he held it around his neck, and that's how he got this wonderful name of Nilakant. Because of the poison, he held everything around his neck, and thereby he protected the entire universe. So Lord Shiva has to be seen as somebody who is compassionate, who is very much dear to his devotees. Lord Shiva, most of the devotees of Lord Shiva haven't understood Lord Shiva properly, because when they think that in the Lord Shiva is always in the with ashes, with leopard skin, in a very dilapidated state, if that matters. But this is where we have to recognize, as Vaishnavas, we should not judge. When we start judging, we recognize that the personality of Lord Shiva is often misunderstood. And Lord Shiva is always staying with the goblins, the bhutas and pretas. But he is so merciful that he is giving solace to these personalities who would not have any respect from anybody. And that is where Lord Shiva is controlling the tamogunis, but obviously, but he is beyond that. He is always in meditation of the Lord. And when his meditation of the Lord was misunderstood by his father-in-law, King Daksha, in this picture, as you can see, Daksha became very angry, because when Lord Shiva, as you can see, is always meditating on the form of the Lord, chanting the holy name. And this is when Daksha becomes angry, and he unfold abuses to Lord Shiva, because he saw the external angle, and this is where he felt that Lord Shiva, as the son-in-law, should have given due respect. And Lord Shiva, seeing this pastime unfold, Sati, Mother Parvati, she couldn't deal with it, and she immolated, and she burnt herself. And Lord Shiva became very angry, and he cut the head of Daksha, and then, through a personality he, gave appearance to, and then eventually. So when you think about these personalities like Lord Shiva, who are with ashes all the time, not in a very, we have this mentality to judge. And this is when, as a Vaishnava, there are ornaments of a Vaishnava. The Vaishnavas, they exhibit some ornaments. Lord Shiva exhibits the ornament of compassion, and always thinking about the Supreme Personality of Godhead all the time. And these pastimes of the Lord gives us that impetus, that how not to judge anyone for that matter. And Lord Shiva is the protector of Dham and the devotees. If you go to any Dham for that matter, there'll be some temple of Lord Shiva who is actually around the Dham. For example, when you go to Jagannath Puri, you see Loknath temple in Jagannath Puri. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Jagannath Puri, he paid obeisances to Lingaraj in Bhubaneswar, and then he went to Jagannath Puri, which is around 50 kilometers. Gopeshwar Mahadev is guarding the Vrindavan Dham. Nageshwar Mahadev, you'll see just outside of Dwarka, if you've gone there. Kshetrapal is in Mayapur, Simantadip. Gopeshwar Mahadev in Vrindavan. Kameshwar Mahadev in Kamyavan. Bhuteshwar Mahadev in Mathura. Chakleshwar Mahadev in Govardhan. And Nandeshwar Mahadev in Nandagaon. And these personalities, when we think about these pastimes of Lord Shiva is always protecting the Dham in his capacity. And there are some beautiful pastimes of Lord Shiva, which is exhibited in this case, where Lord Shiva is about to enter into the last Leela dance, and he's often stopped by the gopis that you can't enter into this because only Matajis are allowed in this Ras Leela pastime. Lord Shiva wanted to dress up And by doing that, and if you go to that Mahadev right now, whenever you have time, you will see that the Gopeshwar Mahadev in the evenings and in various different festival time, they put saris around the Shivalinga there, and they decorate and offer artifacts which is supporting that pastime. And also, when Lord Krishna was very small, Lord Krishna was just born, and Lord Shiva wanted to go to Nandagram and wanted to take darshan of Lord Krishna. And when he was always in this appearance, which is prohibitive for Mother Yashoda, because Mother Yashoda felt that if this person, because he didn't know that Lord Shiva has come in, and he came in the form of a personality with ashes around, and Mother Yashoda prevented Lord Shiva from going into and taking darshan of Lord Krishna when he was a lalla. And when Lord Shiva requested to Mother Yashoda that, Mother, please, he is my Lord, allow me to take darshan of lalla. And because, and when Lord Krishna inside saw and heard that Lord Shiva, and he started crying. The crying would never stop. And Lord and Mother Yashoda became very confused as to what is happening. You know, you have this personality with very difficult dress code, and obviously if a kid is going to take darshan of somebody with ashes and snakes around, they will get, the darshan will not be pleasant, and the kid will get fearful. And with that in mind, Mother Yashoda didn't allow, and finally when Lord Krishna started crying and crying, and finally, once Lord Krishna got into the arms of Lord Shiva in this picture, he stopped crying. And then, and around that area in Nandagram, you see Nandeshwar Mahadev, who is actually protecting the Nandagram. And if you go uphill to Nandagram, when you go to Vrindavan, you'll see this beautiful Mahadev there. So, once upon a time, Lord Shiva was discussing Srimad Bhagavatam to Mother Parvati. And in this beautiful pastime, when Lord is explaining Srimad Bhagavatam, because Lord Shiva is he takes a lot of interest in reading and hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, and he is, with a lot of bliss, he is explaining Bhagavatam to Mother Parvati. And there is a parrot, you can see in this picture. There's a parrot who is also hearing the pastime of Lord Krishna from Srimad Bhagavatam. And in this interaction with the pastime, Mother Parvati has dozed off, has slept. And when Lord Shiva is uttering Srimad Bhagavatam, Mother Parvati, in acknowledgement, used to say, that means she is hearing it. And this parrot, who was hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, got so much amused, so much enthused, that when he saw that this flow of this beautiful outburst, this beautiful pastime of the Lord is happening, and Mother Parvati is about to doze off, and Lord Shiva is going to find out, Lord Shiva will stop. So when Mother Parvati has dozed off, this parrot is imitating. Parrots have this amazing quality to imitate. And the parrot, seeing Mother Parvati dozed off, is acknowledging, So that Lord Shiva goes on and on and on with this beautiful expression of discussing. See, this is why Srimad Bhagavatam is so important to us, why we should all hear Srimad Bhagavatam, because it's so pure that it can turn animals and birds, and they become devotees. So when Lord Shiva found out that this utterance of acknowledgement is actually coming from the parrot and not from Mother Parvati, he ran. This parrot ran, he drove so many miles, and then in a place where Vyasadeva is residing and his wife is yawning, the parrot went into the mouth of Vyasadeva's wife, and from that depth of knowledge through Srimad Bhagavatam, which has percolated into the parrot from that pastime, Sukadeva Goswami came as a child of Vyasadeva. So this beautiful internalization of these beautiful pastimes have gone into the parrot, and how this pastime is unfolding, wherein the parrot who was hearing these beautiful pastimes has internalized, and how Lord Shiva is chasing him, and he goes into the womb of the wife of Vyasadeva, and Sukadeva Goswami was born, and Sukadeva Goswami is one of the greatest Vaishnavas, and his interaction with Parikshit Maharaj during the final days is immortalized. And when Parikshit Maharaj is about to die, he hears Srimad Bhagavatam from Sukadeva Goswami. And you see the unfolding of all these pastimes and how they're interconnected. It's very inspiring to recognize that in every great handiwork of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, how Lord Shiva is coming to help. And there is another pastime. There's a great devotee of Lord Shiva, Lord Krishna from Kerala. His name is Punnatham. His name was Punnatham. And this devotee used to cherish Lord's message from Srimad Bhagavatam. So he is from Kerala. He is a great devotee of Guru Appan from Kerala. He is none other than Krishna. And he used to, so he came to this place he came to this temple where he is reciting Srimad Bhagavatam. He is reciting Srimad Bhagavatam and seeing the Srimad Bhagavatam unfold, a lot of devotees are taking the bliss, taking the nectar of Srimad Bhagavatam. And this Punnatham is uttering Srimad Bhagavatam with so much of ecstasy. And he goes to 10th canto. You know, the 10th canto is a beautiful canto where a lot of exchanges of Krishna and gopis and Krishna and Rukmini is exhibited. And he will get to Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto, 60th chapter, where the interaction with Rukmini ji is happening. And the class will end, so he will put a book stop. You know, you have this book separator. So he'll put a book separator and he will leave. Next day, he comes in. He sees that Srimad Bhagavatam's book stop is actually 2-3 chapters ahead. And he recognizes that he has already spoken about the chapter, but the chapter book stop is somewhere before. So he goes on again and goes to 10th canto, 60th chapter, and this was going on for some time. And always, he will never be able to go beyond 10.60. He will always be starting from 10.58, 59, 60. And 60th is the chapter where there is this beautiful interaction between Krishna and Rukmini. And this was going on for several days. Then he got confused. What is happening? Every time I end my Srimad Bhagavatam, next day I come in, I don't restart from where I leave. I always come back. So then, once the temple was closed, he saw through the keyhole he saw Lord Shiva is uttering and reciting Srimad Bhagavatam to Mother Parvati. And in front of Lord Shiva and Parvati, there are the devotees of the Lord, they are hearing. Punthanam, through the keyhole, saw that Lord Shiva is uttering and reciting Srimad Bhagavatam. And after the Srimad Bhagavatam end on that day, Lord Shiva asked Mother Parvati, how was my recitation and explanation of Srimad Bhagavatam? And Mother Parvati would say that you are not as good as Punthanam. So, as you can see, Lord Shiva is so much in line with how Lord is thinking, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is thinking, that every time his actions are very much aligned with our thought. So, and Punthanam, hearing that, is amazingly blessed, and he goes on. So thinking that Lord Shiva is somebody who is a separate pillar, separate vertical, or however people want to think, is not right. We have to see Lord Krishna and Lord Shiva on a similar path and see, when Lord Krishna does his activities, he has his different departments. There are different departments who end up doing certain things. Lord Shiva always aligns his thought process is how to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So as devotees, we should recognize that Lord Shiva, as Sivaratri happened a couple of days back in US, it was yesterday, and day before yesterday, it was in India. And Sivaratri is the appearance day of Lord Shiva and is also the wedding day of Lord Shiva and Parvati. And he did so many pastimes around Shivaratri. So we should think that Lord Shiva is a greatest Vaishnava, as mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, that Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu, that of all the Vaishnavas, when they exhibit their qualities, these qualities are ornaments. Most of our Vaishnavas, if you see, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance day is coming, Nityananda Prabhu, and his relationship to Lord Shiva is very exemplified. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as I mentioned, came from Navadip to Jagannath Puri, where he stayed 18 years of his 24 years of his sannyas life in Jagannath Puri, he came through Bhubaneswar, and always he will pay obeisances at Bhubaneswar temple, and he said Bhubaneswar is a dham, and that's how he has exhibited. Nityananda Prabhu, likewise, when he sees that people are quarreling between the devotees of Lord Hari and Lord Hara, he laughs. He's an Abdut personality, Nityananda Prabhu, and he always recognizes Lord Shiva is a Param Vaishnava. So we, as practitioners, we have no right to undermine the importance of Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva, his ornament, as we discussed, is to serve devotees, to always think about the Supreme Personality of Godhead, always meditate on the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, always yearning to serve, yearning to hear about Srimad Bhagavatam, the appearance of Sukadeva Goswami, Punthanam, and there are many such wonderful pastimes due to which Lord Shiva is adored by Vaishnavas. And there are so many recent discussions about Lord Shiva, where many of our senior Vaishnavas have glorified Lord Shiva in such a way that we should not think Lord Shiva as somebody who is inferior or superior in that sense at all. If we think that way, then we are doing a big disservice. And it is mentioned in various different pastimes, people will say, there is this Vasmasur pastime, Lord Shiva would end up giving the boon first, and then Lord Vishnu or Krishna will come as a rescue. These are Leelas of the Lord. We should think that these are exhibits, these are all pre-planned activities. It is done in such a way that Lord does extraordinary things through ordinary people or through his devotees. So these are exhibits of a bigger plan. So thinking that the Vasmashur pastime wherein, Lord Shiva gives the boon that whoever this person touches get destroyed, and then, Lord goes out to take rescue, Lord Shiva goes to take rescue from Hari, and this is how it unfolds. These are all exhibits of the Leela wherein the importance of the relationship has to be understood in the right context. There are so many interactions, there are so many pastimes, but if it has to be recognized through the guidance of a guru, sadhu, and sastra, the internalization is going to be right. Otherwise, we'll always try to find fault in any of these pastimes. So, Srimad Bhagavatam, when 12th canto is the last canto, and 13th chapter is the last chapter. So, when Srimad Bhagavatam is ending, the expression is Vaishnavanam Yatha Sambhu. That means Lord Shiva is the topmost Vaishnava, and we should recognize that he is offering obeisances, meditating on the pastime of the Lord, just like all of us. And we should learn how to. So whenever we have a senior Vaishnava, and most of the time we try to learn, when we try to associate, we try to hear. Likewise, Lord Shiva is the topmost Vaishnava. If we want to associate our life and make our practitioner life of Krishna consciousness, we are all practitioners of Krishna consciousness. We are in a journey in Krishna consciousness. It doesn't matter whether you are ahead or behind. We are all trying to learn. And in this attempt to learn, more we learn from these wonderful personalities during the festivity season of Shivratri from Lord Shiva, where he's protecting his dhamvasis in all the dhams. You can see any dham you go on the outskirts of the dham, you will see Lord Shiva protecting his dhamvasis and dham. And with that humility, if we accept Lord Shiva and seeing Lord Shiva in relation to the Supreme makes his stature more elevated. And there is no question of any competition here and there. It is all in our ability to internalize that Lord Shiva is a Param Vaishnava. He is a exalted Vaishnava who has exhibited qualities by which we can increase our bhakti, increase our devotion. Because all these pastimes, when you see, there is a common theme that he wants to serve. He wants to serve the Vaishnavas. He wants to provide an example. He is not the person who a lot of people who follow Lord Shiva as somebody who are always in the mode of ignorance. Lord Shiva is not in the mode of ignorance. Lord Shiva is beyond it. Lord Shiva is beyond it. It is often mistaken by many people that just because he provides stability and provide guidance to the Tamogunis, that he is such. He is a Param Vaishnava, and he is the most dear to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And more and more we internalize the pastime of Lord Shiva during Shivratri, or his relationship with Mother Parvati, who has created this wonderful material universe, and how he gives respect to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. More cleansing we will have in our ability to understand this Param Vaishnava. So, I'd like to hear how Lord Shiva has inspired all of you. If anybody would like to speak for 15, 20 seconds, how Lord Shiva has instilled that element of devotion in your life, we all can learn from you. Otherwise, I would like to end here. Thank you so much for your attention. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. So any reflections, any additions, anybody would like to glorify Lord Shiva as to how Lord Shiva may have inspired? Yes. Thank you, Prabhu.
What's good that apparently another pastime Lord Shiva had was that he went into when Lord Rama was first born. Shiva went in the form of a performer and his monkey. And basically, he would go around. He would go around Ayodhya, singing and dancing, gathering a crowd, all so that he could go in front of the palace. And one, the, and one, he got the attention of like Dasarata, and everybody came out to see him outside the palace. He used that opportunity to take person of Lord Rama.
Okay. So in Ayodhya pastime, Lord Shiva played a very wonderful pastime of interacting and taking darshan of Lord Ram. Thank you. Thank you very much. And you see how this kids have this powerful personality and exhibit of pastime, how they have inspired you. Thank you so much for your comments. Anybody else would like to add? Thank you very much. Yes, Sondra. Yes, bro.
Any pastimes of Lord Shiva protecting the dhams, any pastimes? Or is it for future on the Shiva's temple there outside dhams?
Yeah. So Lord Shiva, your question is how Lord Shiva protects the dham. How Lord Shiva protects the dham. So, as you know, in Jagannath Puri, for example, Prabhu, the first offering which comes out of Lord Jagannath first goes to Bimala Devi. And based on Bimala Devi's acceptance of that offering and bhoga, it goes to other. So Lord Vimala is none other than wife of Lord Shiva. And it is mentioned that unless the blessings of Lord Shiva and Parvati are there, Jagannath Mahaprasad is very powerful and very popular, right? So it is mentioned that it is because of the blessing of and the protection of Lord Shiva and Mother Parvati, the Mahaprasad is amplified. And there are, and many times there is this confusion. There is confusion around Lord Balram, who people think that he is, because different people have different interpretation of Lord Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra, and they have a very unique mood, and that leads to a lot of confusion. And this is sometimes where some of Lord Shiva's, the priests from the Loknath temple, they come and they quell they clear the doubts in the minds. And this is when the presence of Lord Shiva in the dham, they clear the doubts, because in the Mayavad philosophy, there is a lot of misunderstanding. And often these the Shiva temples, when the pujaris from the Loknath temple or from some other temple around that, they come and they recognize that they are protecting the dham, and in the past time of Lord's rituals and Lord's vidhis and so many other, it is considered as a guiding force. And that's how the presence of Lord Shiva in every step of the way, whether the right exhibit of the rituals or the performing of various sanskaras, they always help in protecting the Dham Prabhu. There are so many references in various different Panjis and different literatures. Thank you so much. So we should think Lord Shiva as Param Vaishnava, and we go in the footsteps of enhancing our bhakti in references of offering obeisances, because Lord Shiva always had that sense of awe and reverence to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and we all should imbibe that in our attempt to foster our devotion. So with that, I'd like to end here. Thank you so much for your attention. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for coming to the Sunday Feast program. I'd like to welcome you all, especially those coming here for the first time. Are there anyone who is coming to the temple for the first time? Yeah. So let's thank them with a loud Haribol, Haribol, Haribol. Thank you very much for coming. This is your temple. Continue coming more and more. Also, today's Sunday Feast is sponsored by Sarva Sundar Prabhu and family for their son's Drona's birthday. So, we'll wait for Drona. In the meantime, our Shaunak Prabhu has this wonderful presentation.